Hello, everybody. Welcome to Barchart's webinar on Barchart for Excel. This is our newest product that we recently introduced. And my name is Mark Haraburda. I am excited to be here with you. And also very excited to say we've had close to 2,000 people register so far for this webinar. So I'm looking forward to a very well-attended event today, and I'm really excited to show you this product and all the data that is accessible through it. If you have not yet seen the Barchart for Excel website, you can see the URL on the slide here, barchart.com/excel. There you can register for a free 2-week trial. No credit card is required for that trial, so test it out. And we'll be talking much more about that process and showing you much more today. So here's the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit about Barchart subscriptions that we offer, including Barchart Premier, and how that is different from Barchart for Excel. We're also going to go over how you create an Excel account and how you install the add-in, as well as logging in. We're then going to open Excel, and we're going to explore the Barchart ribbon and the different functions within that ribbon, such as quotes, charts, options, stocks, watch lists, and a variety of other great features. I'm then going to show you a few worksheet examples that we put together to show you the power of Barchart for Excel and how you can customize your own worksheets, integrate unique data sets, and perform advanced analysis. So let's take a look, and then we'll talk about new features and support here. So let's take a look at barchart.com right now. And right here, you can see at the top of the website, there's a link, try Premier for free. So Barchart Premier, this is a different product than Barchart for Excel. This basically gives you more tools, more data through a web-based experience. And that's very much what Premier is about, is more tools, more data, no ads on the website. So a very premium experience. And with the product, really how it's different than Excel is it's a web-based experience, and it allows you to navigate from a quote to earnings to setting alerts to performing scanners, and of course getting into our charting system and performing technical analysis and overlays on charts, while Excel allows you to take the data that we offer and really unlock it in the flexible environment of Excel and provide your own custom analysis, integrate your own unique data sets, design custom formats, and even more advanced things like build macros. So we're going to go now to the Excel website right here, and here's a few key highlights. So of course, you could stream quotes directly in spreadsheets. We'll show you that today. You could download as much historical data as you would like. You could access leaderboards and watch lists, create portfolio tracking sheets. I mentioned combining your own data with Barchart's data. Access deep sets of fundamental data. We have our own custom functions that I'll show you today, and of course apply native Excel functionality to Barchart data. So the first thing you need to do is create an account, and this account ties you back into Barchart.com. If you already have a Barchart.com account, you can use that. If not, you click here and it prompts you use an active Barchart.com account, or if you're new to Barchart, create an account. Once you create an account, you'll receive an automatic email to confirm the account that you created, and then further instructions on starting your trial. Now, in that email, it'll include instructions on how to download the add-in. I'm going to show you that really quick. So under the resource section on the website, if you go here, you could see there's a question, where can I find the Barchart for Excel download? The setup file for Barchart Excel is located here. So you'll also get an email from us containing this link. And inside of Excel, when I show you that in a minute, you'll see there's a direct link to the help guide where you can also access the add-in file. It's a quick install, takes a few seconds. Once that's installed and you have your username and password, you're ready to launch Excel. I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I'm in Microsoft Excel right here, and at the top, you could see the bar chart ribbon has been added to your Excel menus. You can see across the top the different icons, quote, chart, history, fundamentals, and so on. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to go to the account drop down and I'm going to click login. This prompts me in another browser window to log in. And I'm going to click that. Login complete. I can now return to Excel. Okay, I'm bringing Excel back up here. Okay, so I'm going to start with the blank workspace here. I'm going to go through the different features across the top of the bar chart ribbon, starting with quote. Keep in mind, I'm going to talk a little bit slower here because some of the rendering through GoToWebinar might take a minute for the windows to pop up. You can see here, insert quotes. So this is a window to do some very basic functionality to insert quotes. I'm going to type a few symbols in here. So I'm going to put Tesla in there. And if I'd like to chain a few symbols together, I can do that with a comma and then double click that selection at the top. Now, towards the bottom of the window are different fields. So we have a variety of default fields that you could automatically insert. If you don't want any of those fields, you could uncheck the field and it will be removed. You can also click edit fields and see we've got dozens of other categories and hundreds of fields that you could choose from. If you wanted to look at more details on price and percent change, you could see from here, you could add, say, year-to-date change. So I just added that. I'm going to close the edit field window. And I'll talk a little bit about this more later, but there's also custom views. If you're a Barchart.com user, you may be familiar with custom views. This allows you to log into Barchart.com and apply your own unique views, whether you want to look at PE ratios, 52-week highs or lows, standard deviations, or other of the hundreds of fields we calculate. You can carry those custom views over to your Barchart for Excel experience. So I'm going to go back and now insert this quote board. So my quotes have been added and you can see the streaming updates. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger and start applying some basic Excel functionality to my data. My columns are overlapping a bit, so I'm going to highlight them all, double click and expand that. So my data now fits nicely in each column. And then from there, you can start doing other things. So if you want to take the bid price minus the ask, you can perform that calculation very quickly and it updates in real time. In addition, if you would like to apply some highlighting to Excel, using Excel functionality to say a percent change, you could use Excel's conditional formatting, and this may better highlight what you're looking to view. You know, if this was a long list of 20, 30 stocks or instruments, that may help you decipher what's going on in the markets better. So those are just a few quick examples with quotes. Now, one key feature to remember with the different features across the top of the ribbon, there's an anchor cell. So in this, for the quotes, it's named quotes. So if I click on quotes and I go back to the quote button, it'll open a window where I could then edit these symbols. I could, of course, just highlight them and delete them in Excel directly, or I could edit them from here. Say you wanted to add different fields. So I'm going to go ahead and clear this data out. And we're going to move on to the next feature, which is charts. So charts, of course, use Excel's charting engine. And I'm going to bring up Tesla here. One very nice feature is you could apply studies, all of the different bar chart studies that we offer, to the charts directly inside of Excel. So if you're preparing reports, if you want a streaming chart, you could do that. If you're looking to add your own data, you could do that as well, and then build that chart. So I'm going to click here on moving average, and I'm just going to leave that as a 20 period, apply that to the chart. And we're going to go with, down here, you could select date ranges. I'm just going to keep it on default for now. And I'm going to change this to a line chart. Insert the chart, and you can see instantly it is inserted into Excel with my moving average plotted next to my closing price line. I could go back in the chart and change it from a line chart to a candlestick to an area chart and a few other settings. I could still go back and edit study or add additional studies as well, and then update the chart. And you'll see down below all the data for the chart is included. So this is where if you wanted to add some other data, you could do that and then add additional sources for the chart to plot. Okay, let's continue to the next feature, which is history. I'm going to clear this out. Okay, so I'm going to click on the history button in the ribbon, and let's pick Apple here. And you could see just a little bit on our symbol search. You could see how this is organized. I could search by company name, APPLE. I could search by ticker symbol. You can also use our different drop downs, which becomes a bit more tedious, but you could go through those and you could find stocks that way. If you're not sure of the instrument symbol or even the name, such as, if you're looking at different futures or ETFs, that's going to be pretty useful to find what you're looking for. Let's go back to Apple. I'm going to type it in, double click that. And I'm going to show you again that apply and study, because this is a really helpful feature if you want historical technical data. So if you want, say, historical moving averages, I'm going to apply that. And my fields, you can see I could request other fields. So if I want open, high, and low, I'm going to add those. And if I wanted to change the arrangement of these, I could drag these around and move the order of them. I'm going to leave those like that for now. Close the Edit Fields window, and I'm going to go ahead and insert this, and the historical data will instantly appear. There you go. You can see it looks like some formatting from the chart study that I brought up was carried over onto this, but you could get the idea of how quickly I could download historical data for a symbol. Now, if I wanted to do that on multiple instruments, you could type them in, and you could see I have Tesla historical data next to Apple. In addition, if you want to download historical data on options, our symbol chart shows you what symbols have options corresponding to them. So I'm going to go ahead and show you a historical options example. I'm going to click on options for Tesla. You'll see expired as well as current options. I'm going to select these, which expire in 2 days. And it's going to bring up a long list of calls and puts. Through there, I could go ahead and if I want to select the 850 call, I could do that. I'll double click that over. Tesla 2021, October 15th, 850 call. I'm then going to insert that historical data right into the spreadsheet. And you can see how quickly you could get a really nice set of historical equity option data and very quickly as well. Okay, we are going to move on to the next feature here, which is our options prices. So I showed you historical options. This is a little bit more specific to current prices for equity options in a quote board type of view. So again, I'm going to type in a underlying ticker symbol. I'll continue to use Tesla. I'm going to double click it, add it to the right side, and you could see all the different fields that we provide for equity options by default, and then there's additional. So if I go into here and look, I could see, you know, if I want to add Vega to my quote board, I could do that through a click. And then from there, I'm going to pick a specific expiration. So you can see right here, it's defaulted to the nearest expiration, which is the October monthlies. Next to that, you're going to see something called a look back date. This will allow you to go back and look back at an entire spread matrix, whether it's calls and puts side by side or stacked. You could view that for a prior day. So say you wanted to see what yesterday's prices looked like in that view. I'm going to select October 12th and go ahead and insert that. And it didn't like that a sec. Let me clear that out here. I'm going to go ahead and keep that on today. And here are equity options for the 15th. And you can see how that's arranged. It inserted the Vega field I wanted. You know, from here, you could go ahead and if you want to chart some of this, if you want to chart, the implied volatility, skew across these strikes, using Excel functionality, you could highlight that column, go in, look at recommended charts and add, say, a line chart and insert that chart right into your Excel spreadsheet. And of course, you could add other fields too by highlighting them and adding them to the chart that you are inserting. Okay, let's take a look now at fundamentals. So that's the next tab or button across the top of the bar chart window. So fundamentals, this gives you access to income statement, balance sheet, cash flow data, as well as company profiles and corporate actions like dividends, splits, and earnings. So again, the window will pop up where you enter a symbol. I'm going to put in IBM here, add it to the right side. Again, you can see all the default fields that are included, and I'm going to go ahead and just click Insert. So you can see very quickly the data is added. I'm going to expand my columns so things fit here better. And say you wanted to compare some of these fields to Microsoft. So I'm going to click on Profile, and I'm going to go back to the bar chart ribbon, click on Fundamentals. So again, Profile is the anchor cell. That'll bring up Fundamentals, where I could edit it or add to it. I'm going to add Microsoft and click Insert. And now I have side by side both Microsoft as well as IBM a overview, given high-level data from shares outstanding to most recent annual sales, industry, and other ratios provided. Inside fundamentals, you can also access, like I mentioned, corporate actions. So if I wanted to see dividends on Microsoft, I'm going to type in the Microsoft ticker symbol, click on it, select dividends down here, then go straight to insert. And we're giving you here the past 10 years of dividends for Microsoft, including the amount and the date. Okay, next I'm going to show you the income statement and balance sheet data through the fundamentals tab. So if I click the fundamentals button, I'm going to enter a symbol, bring up Microsoft, go to financials, and you can see the three different options. I'm going to keep it on income statement and insert. I'll let that load there for you. And you can see now on the right side of my screen, the income statement data that was added. So I can then work with that data. Say I want to add a column, and now I want to apply just a growth rate to that, and I'll say 3%. I could type that formula in that cell, multiply it by the previous field, and apply that down to all these other cells. And may have to adjust the formatting here. And there you go. So the data works seamlessly with Excel's native functionality. Okay, we're going to move on to the next section in the ribbon. I'm going to clear out some of this data here. Okay, so I'm going to show you the different lists. You can see it's kind of small text below the stocks, ETFs, options, buttons. It's labeled as lists. These are different lists that Barchart generates each day and throughout the day, and they're updated dynamically. And we have them categorized by different types of financial instrument stocks, ETFs, options, futures, and currencies. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the stocks button. And you can see inside of here all sorts of different lists, from today's top 100 stocks to volume leaders to major indices to top stocks to own based on trading signals. So I'm going to go ahead and just insert today's top stocks and leave all the default fields. Click insert, and I'm going to do that on a new sheet. It's keeping some formatting from the sheet I was using before, so I'm going to do that again. Sorry if you're missing some of the screens, but I'll pause on it for a second so you could see that. Today's top stocks, insert. There we go. The formatting now is much better, and I could of course increase the font size of this inside of Excel and then expand my columns to get everything to match and fit in those columns. And a long list like this is really where that conditional formatting in Excel comes into handy. You could go into here and you could actually set rules. Say you want to highlight cells that have increased greater than a certain percentage. You could go ahead and do that. and choose what color you want those to be highlighted. So nice Excel functionality like that could be applied to these data tables. Okay, let's take a look at the next list, which is ETFs. So inside the ETFs menu, you've got a variety of lists related to ETFs, everything from today's top ETFs to popular ETFs to the trading signals we're calculating on ETFs. So you could go through here and pick any of these and just click on it and click insert. And you'll see right here, it's categorizing these for me. It's giving me global popular ETFs, US industries, specialty industries, and other sectors. So right away, I've got a nicely formatted table here where if I want to build a report on this data or add my own analysis to this data, I can now do this inside of Excel. Okay, so let's take a look at another one of these features. I'm going to clear this data out. And now I'm going to go to our options button, which is pretty interesting stuff. Some really good sets of data. Everything from unusual options activity that we calculate throughout the day to IV rank and IV percentile to highest implied volatility. So let's take a look at unusual options activity. And this has another filter here where if you filter all, it's potentially going to be a lot of data, which it'll work. But if you have a lot of worksheets open, it may present some slowness. So I'm going to limit this just to 50 results, and then you can see the different default fields again that are included. I'm going to go ahead and insert this, and I am going to change this formatting quickly here so we have better viewability. So right here, this column that I'm highlighting, let me make this a little bit bigger. So this is giving me the underlying ticker symbol for the most unusual options. So you can see American Airlines here, this is calculated based on a volume to open interest ratio. And you can see right here, the volume on American Airlines options, this particular $18 put expiring in November has significant volume compared to the open interest on it. So our ratio is essentially ranking it. And that's how we're coming up with our unusual options activity ranking. And this table now, this will update dynamically. In a little bit, I'll show you another way, a graphical way, using some Excel functionality to present this data and perhaps help you digest it a little bit better. I'm going to delete this sheet here. And I'm going to add another one and show you one other options lists that we calculate. So let's go with IV rank and IV percentile. Again, I'm going to fetch 50 results and insert this here. Okay, I'm going to try and increase this font here so everybody could see a bit better. Let's get this up to 20. And I'm going to expand this and give that a minute to load in the webinar for everybody. So, here again, I'm showing implied volatility, IV rank, IV percentile. Hopefully you're seeing this data update dynamically right in front of your eyes. I could now sort this, by different columns if I wanted to apply Excel sorting to it, I could do that. And if I want to sort, say, by percent change, maybe in the underlying stock, I could do that. And now you can see that my table flipped with Delta, at the top of this list right now. Again, if you want to go back and edit the fields for that list, click on the anchor cell, which is in the top corner of your table. Go back to the options menu, and I could then remove fields. I could edit fields. You can, of course, do that directly in Excel. And let me show you that. So I'm going to cancel that menu out. If I want to get rid of the timestamp, I can just highlight it and click delete, and it'll be removed. Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to the next feature in the ribbon, which is futures. I'm going to delete this worksheet just so I do not carry over any formatting, and might as well delete this one here too. And we'll just insert a new worksheet, and I'm going to click on the futures menu. So if you're looking for a broad overview of futures, high level throughout the different commodity industries, we've got a nice overview. Click on commodities overview and click insert. You're going to see, and I'll increase this sizing font as well. Bump this up to 20. Expand these columns a bit. So you'll see, again, we apply categories to this default quote board. So very quickly, you could set up an a futures or commodities page with all the different futures sectors, from currencies to energies to financials and grains. You could, of course, use our quote function. So let me bring that up. I showed you that for stocks, but if you want to look at futures and say you're interested in the corn markets, I'm going to type ZC for corn, or I could type corn, and you could see a corn ETF as well as corn futures and other instruments with corn in them. And then from there, I could add a corn quote to the quote board, and you of course could build your quote boards in a more custom manner. And let's go back. And clear out this futures board and to show you a little bit of the other features underneath the futures section here. So I'm going to click on the futures tab again. And if I want to look at, let's say, long-term trends. So it's going to give me a list of bullish and bearish trends based off of Barchart's weighted alpha calculation. You can find out more information on that in our education section on the website. Increase this font so you could see it's ordering those by weighted alpha. It's giving me the symbol, it's giving me the name as well as the contract expiration. So underneath futures, a handful of other tables as well. Okay, so we have 3 more to go: currencies, watch list, and portfolio. Watch list is it's pretty similar to what you've seen in futures. We have this categorized by currencies as well as cryptos. So if you want to take a look at just popular cross rates, you could click on that selection here and drop that in very quickly, and this will give you a list of cross rates based on different countries. And you could work with that data from there. Likewise, if you wanted to take a look at cryptocurrencies, again, we give you popular coins. I'm going to go ahead and insert that. We'll make this a little bit bigger again. expand my columns, which if you're not familiar with how to do that instantly in Excel, so if the columns are overlapping your text, say that's happening on multiple columns, you could go in individually and stretch them, or you could click the upper left corner, highlight the entire sheet, then double click one of the columns and it'll adjust all of them for you. Nice, nice time saver, quick little feature there. So again here, now I could work with this data. If I wanted to apply some other multiplier or divide some of the data together, I can now do that right inside of Excel. And say in the case of crypto, I want to look at let's take a look here. Some market capitalizations to get an idea of the size of some of these coins. We've got that table in here as well. So I'm going to go to the bottom of the currencies list, market capitalizations, click insert, and you can now see, again, I'm going to use that feature, double click the columns to get everything to fit, bump this up to 20 font, and you can now see the market cap, the supply, and if I wanted to chart this data, this is great in Excel. I could just highlight these columns, go in, click on a recommended chart, and say I'm happy with this chart here, or I wanted to look at a chart more like this. It's going to drop it right in there, and that chart's going to update. If this was done with real-time volume or something like that, that chart's going to update instantly, dynamically. Or if you need to prepare this for a report, you could then further style this chart, using Excel's custom chart formatting. Okay, 2 more sections to go before I show you some neat examples that we've built that just show you some of the power and flexibility in customizing Excel worksheets with bar chart data. Okay, so let's take a look at our watch lists and portfolio. So this watch list, if you're a Barchart.com user, the great thing about this, when you're ready to work with the data inside of Excel, you can access all of the watch lists that you've built in Barchart.com directly into Excel. Now, when you edit them in Excel, they don't sync back with Barchart.com. Still, this is a very handy feature. If you need to get into Excel and you need to do additional analysis that's not built for our website. So you can see right here, a variety of watch lists that I've had, everything from my picks to retirement to college funds. So I'm just going to select my picks here, and you could do dynamic or static updates. I'm going to change that to dynamic intraday. You can see all the different fields here. And I don't think this is a big watch list. So you can see though, it drops it right in. A lot of different fields here. You can see the data enlarged there. So I can now work with my watch list right in Excel. Likewise, if I want to look at one of my portfolios, so say I want to take a look at, I have one here named Barchart Excel, and it's got, again, here I showed you this a little bit earlier, but just a reminder, these are all the different views which correspond to the column fields. So you can see as I click on these, the column fields change, and it defaults to portfolio view. So I'm going to go ahead and insert that. And now you could see these are the buys and sells that I've entered in my portfolio on Barchart.com, now syncing back into Excel. So the integration between Barchart.com and Barchart Excel was very important for us. So you could really go between both platforms fairly seamlessly. So here's this portfolio view. If I wanted to change the view that I had, I could go back and say I wanted to look at what I call, this is my own custom view, a volatility view. I'm going to select that, reinsert that table. And now you could see that I'm gonna have to increase that font there so everybody could see this well. Increase that font back to 20. And you could see the volatility fields that are part of my volatility view. Okay, so I'm going to move along here, show you some examples, and then show you, actually before I get to those examples, I want to show you our help screen in case you got to run here. I know we're coming up on 40 minutes here. So inside of Excel, we have help, a help guide directly integrated. If you go to user guide, that's going to bring up this website that has extensive sets of help information that more or less correspond to the different sections I showed you today, as well as getting started, troubleshooting, FAQs. We have some templates. I'll talk about that in a second. So a very helpful guide there, as well as a support link. If you need to contact our support desk, all you need to do is click contact support right inside of Excel, which I just did. You'll see in a second here, that'll open up another browser window and you can message our support desk, who's very prompt, and we'll get back to you. So I'm gonna go back into Excel here, and along the bottom here, you can see I've got a variety of worksheets set up. Just want to show you some of the possibilities. So I talked a bit about conditional formatting. You can see here, I've got the S&P 500, all the constituents inside of that index. I then have it conditionally formatted to highlight by 52-week change. I could do that with other fields. Next to it, I have the S&P indexes or sector indexes, again, color-coded by 52-week change. So I could see pretty quickly, you know, energy and financials, how well those have done relative to some of the other sectors. So that's some basic, you know, Excel functionality on a big table like this. Next, I have what I call a sector page. This is a template that we'll eventually make available, but it shows you the type of worksheets you could build. If you're looking at different sectors, such as airline stocks, you can see here I have a very nice view of them side by side, as well as kind of these temperature meters on the right, showing me the relative, color-coded again, the relative change between the different airline stocks that I'm tracking on this sheet. Okay, historical data I showed you, so I'm going to skip over that. I'm going to go to a portfolio tab here, which is applying some Excel charting to my portfolio. In this case, it's a little bit unique. I'm showing market value relative to my profit since the purchase date on these stocks. Really just a simple histogram applied to this data. Okay, next, I'm going to show you what I think is a really cool way to set up an options page. You know, of course, with Excel, you could change the background color. You could, you know, change the color of any of the data components and fields within it. I've got some mini skew plots on here as well, showing implied volatilities across strikes. And you know, I set this up so you know you could just change the symbol and really it would drive it. So again, just showing the power of really custom formatting and then adding, you know, small charts to help you visualize your data a bit better. And here's another one focused on options. on Barchart.com, unusual options activity is one of our most popular pages. We get a lot of traffic there, and this is really like a scatter plot, showing in real time. You can see this is updating dynamically these different stocks, and it's showing the volume open interest ratio relative to the percent change in the underlying stock. Kind of a neat way to plot this unusual options activity data to kind of give you perhaps a visual idea of what may be going on. And I have one more options example here, really showing more kind of an option strategy plotter where, if you want to plot the options position value, you could pull our data in right into Excel and then add some additional calculations and then plot an option strategy or an options position so you can see visually the payoff. And here I'm looking at forward curves, in this case for soybean futures, plotting those to look at different activity across different contract expirations. So I've got one other feature to show you, and that is our custom functions and custom syntax. So most of the things I've shown you have all been driven by the bar chart ribbons at the top. If you want to build your own quote boards, build your own analysis, work perhaps even quicker in Excel, you could do that with our custom functions. Right here, you could see the two examples that we use. So if I use equals BERT, you'll see this is a bar chart quote function. And all you have to do from there is enter a symbol inside parentheses, as well as quotes, such as IBM, comma, and say I want I. I'm going to enter that into that cell, and you could see, give that a second to update for you. You could see the high for IBM today instantly updated. And we've got hundreds of different fields available. Our help guide actually has a file, text file that you could download those. So down here, let me make this a little bit bigger. I pasted a whole bunch of fields, and this becomes some neat functionality where you can now tie your formulas and reference different cells. So in this example here, you could see I am referencing cell A54 as well as the ticker IBM. A54 is the sector field. So that's giving me, returning the sector for IBM based on that field that I referenced. If I wanted to change this symbol to GE, it's going to give me the sector for GE. So a nice way to work with our custom quote function as well. You need to know the fields. So our help guide has the fields. You could paste them in and then work with them that way. Or we have a new function available. So it's this one at the bottom here, equals BEF. So if I go ahead and type equals BEF, you're going to see a big list of built-in bar chart Excel functions. And you could go through and select any of these. So if I wanted to go into here and get 1 month high, I'm going to click on that, and it's telling me it needs a symbol. So I'm going to enter the symbol in quotes, and I'll use IBM again. And it's going to pull that right up. So again, it's equals BEF. Now, if I think I might know the name of the field and I want to search through there, I could start typing underscore and then say I'm looking for high. I could say high. Or if I want to type standard deviation, I start typing standard deviation. So take some time to get familiar with all the different fields and functions available here. But you can see once you start working with this, the custom abilities become a lot more flexible. Okay, I do want to invite you to start submitting some questions here. And I do want to mention we do have a screener in the works. It'll be a stock screener. So we're excited to soon be introducing that new feature. I want to encourage you to go back, I'll bring it back up here, to the barchart.com/Excel website and look for the free trial. And again, like I said, you do not need a credit card to get that free trial. Once you sign up, you'll get instructions on the download. You'll also get a series of emails with step-by-step instructions on how to do different things I showed you today. Both a text-based step-by-step as well as a link to a demo video, which will walk you through it, kind of like I did today. And it's probably a little bit better, probably a little bit slower, and you can watch it whenever you'd like. So we've got a few questions here. So there's if we limit to 50 results, I was showing that on the options. Of course, you could do all results. You don't have to. The 50 results, if you limit it, that'll be the top results for that field. Say it is unusual options activity, it's going to be the top ranking volume to open interest ratio. Okay, yeah, nice comment here that this app could complement sounds like some broker software. Thank you for that. Yeah, so the 69, the price, I didn't mention it. You can see right here, $69.95. That includes the data that you see. You can upgrade to a variety of real-time data sets from different exchanges. Once you go through the registration process, you'll see that. What is the delay time for these data points? So on barchart.com, at the bottom of the website, there's a link for exchange delays. You could see the different delays there. I believe it's in our help guide as well. Let me show you that very quickly. So if I go to barchart.com and go to the bottom, you can see the different exchange delays under our about section here. So the data, you can see that these are delayed. It is streaming. It's delayed streaming. You can then upgrade to real time, which requires the exchange market data fee. Yeah, that was a question I had by dynamically. That's what I mean. Again, it's constantly updating, streaming. Someone asked about their audio was not working. Yes, you'll be able to download this presentation, and we will email out a link. I apologize if you had audio issues. So yeah, replay will be made available. Yes, the question on the portfolio. So there's all sorts of settings from entry date to high-low fields. You could set all of those. Someone asked, they're a Premier subscriber. They don't want to start their trial to Barchart Excel yet. That's fine. You could sign up for this trial at any time. Yeah, the charts in Excel do update as the underlying data is updated. There was a question on our IV percentile calculation. If you go to the barchart.com options page, you will see links to those things and very good definitions. A few other questions. Can you use this for multiple computers? No, it's a single login. You only can log in at one spot at one time. On historical options data, yes, you could access expired historical options data through this product. Okay, Well, we're coming up on our time here for the webinar. If you have questions I did not answer, please feel free to email our support desk. Again, go to barchart.com/excel and click on contact support, and you could contact us right there. I really want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for attending, and hope you have the chance to sign up for a free trial and give this product a try. Thank you for your time and have a great day.